Guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to see the difference between the botulinum toxin and the laterotoxin. These two toxins actually they have entirely opposite function of action. Let us see that one by one. First let us see about the botulinum toxin. Botulinum toxin. This botulinum toxin is actually produced by a bacteria called the Clostridium botulinum. This botulinum toxin produces a disorder known as the botulism. So before going into the topic proper, let us see what are all the structures that are present in the presynaptic nerve terminal. Consider this as the presynaptic nerve terminal, and hope you all know that there will be vesicles containing the neurotransmitter substance, right? So to this vesicles are attached some proteins called as the synaptobrevin. Some proteins called as synaptobrevin is attached to these vesicles, and these are called as the vesicular proteins. And to the presynaptic membrane, some proteins are attached and they are called as syntaxin. These vesicular proteins they are called as synaptobrevin, and these membrane proteins they are called as syntaxin. Especially they are present in the presynaptic nerve terminal, right? So once the impulses are transmitted through the nerve, this leads to the opening of the calcium channels, and so there will be influx of calcium. And this calcium, what it does, it increases the affinity between the synaptobrevin and syntaxin. So they will be coming in close contact with each other, and once they get attached with each other, it leads to the opening of the vesicle so that neurotransmitter substance will be released at the presynaptic nerve terminal. So this is what happens in the normal mechanism, right? Let us now see how this botulinum toxin affects the cholinergic transmission at the neuromuscular junction, right? So as soon as the toxin is absorbed from the GIT, it produces paralysis. This botulinum toxin, it produces paralysis. How does this cause paralysis? By stopping the cholinergic transmission at the neuromuscular junction. How does this stop the cholinergic transmission at the neuromuscular junction? Let us see that. So this botulinum toxin, it is transported by some groups of transporters, and they get concentrated in the nerve endings. So this botulinum toxin, it has a special characteristic feature that it has the proteolytic activity. Thus it behaves like a protease. Right. So as soon as this gets concentrated at the nerve terminal, it starts digesting the synaptobrevin and syntaxin. Hope you all remember that only when the synaptobrevin and syntaxin comes in contact with each other, then only the vesicle will be opening, and thus leads to the release of the neurotransmitter within it, mainly the acetylcholine. So what does this botulinum toxin do is, it digests the synaptobrevin and syntaxin, and there will be no release of acetylcholine. See, once again I am repeating, this botulinum toxin, it has proteolytic activity. So as soon as it gets concentrated at the nerve terminal, it starts digesting the synaptobrevin and the syntaxin. So there is no release of acetylcholine, and thus this toxin produces paralysis. Next, coming to the laterotoxin. This is actually released by the spider called the black widow spider. Hope you all know the story about the black widow spider, that the female partner kills the male partner after the intercourse. Since it is black in color, it is called as the black widow spider. This laterotoxin, it actually has the opposite function of the botulinum toxin. Do you know that this nerve endings, they love to be more concentrated with this laterotoxin. So as soon as this gets absorbed, it starts accumulating in the nerve ending. This latter toxin, it actually increases the interaction between the synaptobreven and syntaxin, and thus leads to increased release of the acetylcholine from the vesicles. So more and more amount of acetylcholine will be released. See, most of the cholinergic nerve endings would like to be more concentrated with this lateral toxin. So once this lateral toxin enters the nerve ending, it starts increasing the interaction between the synaptobreven and syntaxin. Starts increasing the interaction between the synaptobreven and the syntaxin. What happens then? It leads to increased release of acetylcholine from the vesicles. So this leads to cholinergic crisis. You know that what happens during the cholinergic crisis, most of the parasympathetic activities will be increased and some of the sympathetic activities will also be increased. Parasympathetic activities like increased micturition due to the bladder contraction, then increased bowel movement that leads to defecation, increased sweating, then bradycardia, bronchoconstriction, etc. This later toxin, it leads to the cholinergic crisis.